Hello! Welcome to our series about the trust models in play when using eDelivery. This is the second episode of our series. We will learn who are the participants in an eDelivery network and what are the required trust relations between these participants, namely who needs to trust whom. In eDelivery, there are two models for representing the participants in a message exchange. Each of them reflects a different topology. The simplified, point-to-point model involves two participants, the sender of the message and the receiver of the message. In the slightly more complex topology, the four-corner model, two of the participants send and receive the message on behalf of the other two. The four participants are the message producer and the sender access point on the sending side, and the receiver access point and the message consumer on the receiving side. From the perspective of the trust relations, the point-to-point model is subsumed by the four-corner model. In the next slides, we will be focusing on this more complex case. Before, we identified the roles involved in a message exchange. Now, if we look at the identities of the parties that play each role, we realize that for each role we have several potential candidates to consider. On the sender side, for the message producer, we could consider the identity of the IT system that is producing the message, but we could also consider, especially from a legal point of view, the identity of the owner, person or organization of this system. It is the same for the sender access point. We could consider the identity of the IT system of the eDelivery access point, and the identity of the owner of that system. The situation is symmetrical on the receiver side. Note that in some cases the identities mentioned here are not necessarily distinct and could sometimes overlap. For example, in many real situations we may have the message producer system and the sender access point having the same owner. And likewise for the receiver side. In what follows, we will sometimes refer to each role by its name and other times by the name of the corner it represents in the four-corner topology, corner 1, 2, 3, or 4. We now learned that there are several parties whose identity is relevant in an eDelivery message exchange, the IT systems and the owners of these systems. In the real world, all these participants have an identity. In the eDelivery world, we only care about assigning identities to the participants that are IT systems. In an eDelivery network, the four IT systems we discussed, message producer and consumer, sender and receiver access points, will be each assigned a digital identity. eDelivery does not enforce the link between the owner identity and the system identity. Still, if required by the business rules, the identity of the system owners can be checked or enforced by using existing tools external to eDelivery, such as qualified digital certificates issued in accordance with the eIDAS regulation. We will now look at how a participant in an eDelivery network usually obtains its identifier in the network. The identifier is assigned to the participant according to a process defined by the network governance. The participants, corner 1 to corner 4, in an eDelivery domain will be assigned an identifier. The given identifier needs to be unique within the network. The identifier might also serve some other functional or semantic purposes defined by the network through naming conventions or naming policies. On a technical level, eDelivery encourages the use of the EB Core Party ID specification as the format for identifiers. If the identity of the owner of the system must also be verified along with the identity of the system to be identified can present a digital certificate issued according to the eIDAS regulation. The process of issuing these certificates ensures the identity of the person, natural or legal, that is given the certificate. In practice, the identity is verified by the certification authority that issues the certificate. eIDAS defines 3 different levels of trust: low, substantial, and high, when setting rules for establishing the identity of a natural or legal person. A high level of assurance is required for qualified trust service providers to issue qualified certificates. In practice, this means the certification authority must do extensive checks to ensure the identity of the organization that receives the certificate. We understand by now that trust in a message exchange is strongly linked to the idea of trusting the identity of a given participant. The following trust relations are required. The receiver access point, corner 3, must be able to trust the identity of the sender access point, corner 2. The sender access point, corner 2, must be able to trust the identity of the receiver access point, corner 3. In addition to trusting the identity, confidentiality, and integrity of the eDelivery communication must also be trustworthy. Both access point participants, corner 2 and corner 3, must be able to trust the communication channel they use. And corner 2 needs to be able to trust the authenticity of the acknowledgement of receipt from corner 3. Thanks for watching. Find out more on the eDelivery website. For questions, feel free to reach out via email. See you in the next episode.